Good morning and welcome to Vote News at 9 o'clock. I am Mavis Atudume. Enugu State Governor Dr. Peter Mba has disclosed that the success behind the state's enduring and sustainable peace and security is as a result of the deliberate zero tolerance policy of the administration against criminality, saying insecurity of any form was being systematically eradicated. The governor also stated this when he received the new general officer commanding GOC 82 Division, Nigerian Army, Major General Oluyemi Thomas Olatoye, who was familiarizing a visit to the government house. The Enugu State Police Command has arrested 6 armed robbery suspects and recovered firearms and other exhibits in Nsukka. Spokesperson of the Police Command, SP Daniel Ndukwe, confirmed the development in a statement yesterday, stating that operatives from the Nsukka Area Command, in collaboration with the Neighborhood Watch Group, initially detained an armed robbery suspect, leading to the arrest of 3 others. And on the national scene, in a significant breakthrough against terrorism in the Northwest, troops of Operation Fasan Yama have eliminated several notorious terrorist commanders and dismantled multiple hideouts in Zamfara and Sokoto states. In Edo, the governor, Monday Okpebholo, has said with its robust collaboration with the federal government, the state is on course to become the envy of other states. The governor made this declaration when he received the Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin Madien, who was on a courtesy visit to the government house in Benin City. He vowed that the administration would continue to work with the federal government in the interest and the development of the state. And in business news, the dollar to naira black market rate for today is buying at 1,555 naira and it's selling for 1,475 naira. The dollar to naira CBN rate today is buying at 1,503 naira and selling at 1,504 naira. The federal government, through the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, has said that it may impose a ban on trucks with 60,000-liter capacities, preventing them from operating on federal highways. This follows the increasing number of deaths resulting from petrol tanker accidents, which has led to the death of 493 persons in the last 3 years. The government, in a proposal to stakeholders, wants tankers restricted to a maximum of 45,000 per liter. It said this ban is part of a potential recommendation aimed at reducing fatalities from petroleum tanker accidents to zero. And in sports, Edo State Governor Monday Okpebholo on Wednesday said that citing of the Federal University of Sports in the state will provide a platform for cutting-edge research, innovation, and the development of highly skilled graduates who will contribute meaningfully to our society. While commending President Bola Tinubu for signing into law the bill establishing the university, he expressed confidence that the institution would quickly become a center of academic excellence, attracting students and scholars from across the country and beyond. And finally, Bendel Insurance Football Club of Benin on Wednesday defeated visiting Eyimba International Football Club of Aba 1-0 in a rescheduled Week 20 Nigeria Premier Football League game played at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium. And that is the news. Thank you for joining us. I am Mavis Atudume. Good morning and welcome to High Voltage. Today is the 13th day of February 2025. Welcome. And today also happens to be the World's Radio Day, a day to remind and remember the radio broadcast industry, to remind the general public and, of course, the radio broadcast industry itself of the very significant role it has played over time in the evolution of media broadcast and representation. The radio industry has watched evolution happen to mankind as it has borne witness and has reported most of the most historical events that has happened in the history of human life itself. Congratulations to every radio broadcast individual and everyone who's in this industry. It is such a pleasure to be a member, a strong representing voice of the broadcast radio industry, where we get to speak truth to life and bear witness to human experience. All right, that is my one piece on the radio day. Today is 13th, celebrating all over the world individuals who are in the media industry and celebrating what it means to be the fourth arm of government, speaking out for the people, representing the people, and thereby also giving messages back to the people from those in authority. Welcome to today's edition of the program. Enugu State Chapter of Nigerian Journalists and Broadcast Individuals, that's OAPs in Enugu, are also remembering this particular day and commemorating it with a media tour where it will be discussed to good amount of expense about the cost of living and acquiring accommodation in Enugu State. What I would like to think is a development that took a turn for the worse in the past 5 years. Enugu State has experienced out of this world rent increase and accommodation increase. On this particular platform, a man had called this program to lament very bitterly how he had to send his family back to the village because he couldn't afford to feed them, to put them in school, and also afford to pay rent here in Enugu. And it spoke about the difficulties most residents in Enugu are experiencing as regards to landlords and agents and lawyers who are working in complicity to make accommodation and housing unbelievably expensive in Enugu State. We have seen ridiculous lists. We have seen ridiculous formulas at which this is done. And what it has done is that it is reducing what it is that Nigerians can do with their resources. Most people are just living to pay rent and to probably afford whatever amount of food they can. It is not helping the present economic situation. So I will be speaking on behalf of all my fellow broadcast individuals this morning, everyone in the media industry. I will be joining my voice this morning to call on the Executive Governor of Enugu State, Dr. Pitamba, and your entire administration and everyone who has something to do with the conversation that I'm talking about this morning. Please, can something be done about regulating the price of acquiring accommodation and shelter in Enugu? Could there be subsidiaries? Could there be a housing fund? Could there be something done? Could there be a regulation? Could there be an agency? Could there be something that can be done to relieve the people of rental heartbreak, because it's heartbreaking? The rate at which the increases are done, the things that individuals and people who are seeking accommodation are told to do before they are able to secure accommodation is appalling in Enugu State. And the agency institution, who are they? Who do they work under? Who do they represent? What is their job really? And why does the people in Enugu State have to pay them so much for homes that do not belong to them? For homes they probably have no business with. These are the conversations and things we will be trying to understand on this program this morning. Hopefully, some of my colleagues who are supposed to join me on this program will be able to make it, and we will expand this conversation. For now, I'm about to read you the newspaper headlines and tell you what it is that's happening in our country today and giving you updates from things that has happened before. All right. My name is Mavis Atudume, and we are live on YouTube. Go to High Voltage News at the search bar. Like, subscribe, and share. You will be doing Vote FM a very huge favor if you do that. Also, we are opening up our phone lines on this program. Have you call in to share your thoughts, views, and contributions on any of the conversations that have been had on this program. You can call 0706 048 5853. You can also call 0915 570 8347 to be a part of the show this morning. Straight to the Daily Post, let me tell you that Nigerian government drivers of tankers differ on petrol truck ban as tanker explosions have claimed 493 lives in Nigeria. According to the news, in the past 3 years, we have lost 493 lives to tanker explosions and tanker-related accidents. And that is a lot of number. Something has to be done. The federal government is proposing that they stop carrying up to 65 or 60,000 liters of petroleum in these tankers. And the federal government is trying to reduce it to 40,000 so that they are not carrying too much, so that it's just a lot of conversation really has to go into this. A lot of consideration has to go into this. The drivers must also understand that lives and very expensive properties and goods are being lost. So none of this is funny, and anything that can be done to help reduce this situation is almost welcome, right? Continuing to review the news this morning. Bandits, kingpin, terrorizing Katsina, Zamfara State, has died in a mysterious circumstance. Okay, we don't know the details of the circumstance yet. I hope that it unfolds and then we find out what those mysterious circumstances are. 2027, we're still fielding P2B against Tinubu, says Labour Party. All right, just yesterday, Kenneth Okonkwo made an official exit and goodbye from the Labour Party, citing internal disruptions and internal disunity as to the reasons why he has to go. Earlier on, he has also mentioned that he doesn't think that the Labour Party 2023 presidential candidate in the person of P2B had what it took to be able to grab power from the ruling party, from the ruling power, from the ruling administration. And this conversation opens up a lot. It opens up a lot of conversations, a lot of perspective as to why he would say something like that, considering that he was a very strong voice at the 2023 election, speaking very boldly and strongly for P2B. Let's hear what you think this morning. Welcome to the show, to the program. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Chichi and I'm calling from Enugu.
You're very welcome to the show.
Okay. It's been a worrying situation concerning the outrageous rent that is being paid in Enugu.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you guys take up this responsibility as a corporate social responsibility and help advertise, okay, no, that's not the word, since it's a service that is intended to offer to the people, help them know where there are accommodation available for rent, so that you will bridge that agent, landlord, client space to help them cut off that rent agency fee that they will need to pay. Then we can now talk about the lawyer, legal fee, and everything.
Okay.
That's my information.
Okay. I actually like that, Chichi. Thank you very much for that. How did you think of that? How did you come up with that?
I've been concerned about the high rentage in Enugu, and listening to your program this morning,
Yes.
it just crossed my mind that if you guys can help tell people where there are houses and where they can go get them, then that agency fee will be cut off, because it is the agent that does that, and they have to collect their money.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chichi. I appreciate. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
You too. Have a lovely day.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. Wow, this, you see, every time this conversation is had, it's very triggering, it's very concerning, because we are all living this experience. We live here. If you don't live in Enugu and you don't know about this conversation, then you belong to the other three groups. It's either you are the landlord, or you are the lawyer, or you're probably the agent. But outside of these three group of people, the rest of us are experiencing something you don't want to imagine. Good morning to you. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome. Your name and location, please.
Okay. Ezewata from Monarch.
Ezenwata from Monarch. You're welcome.
I love this topic. It's a very interesting topic. Different issue. You know, this thing has been a very burden. It has been a burden and a very big issue. Every living human being, and even including property, apart from people living in Enugu, is very bad for over almost 10 years or even more than. Everything, apart from even the cost of food, everything is high.
Yes.
So the cost of living here is very high. People cannot meet up, even in their basic needs, they can't meet up. Imagine ordinary one, you pay 100 something thousand.
Okay.
Ordinary cell phone, they will call you 350.
Oh, 500. I had 500 yesterday. That's basic rent.
Even the one is not even standard. No, most of the building is not standard. There are no use of water. There's no water in Enugu.
Of course.
You pay for rent in a flat, in a circle like this, maybe you are still suffering from cost of water. You cannot pay electric bill, no light.
Yes.
Transport, high, everything high. Not only suffering the issue. If the government will try to pass it into law. The way stagnant and direct amount, all those buildings, even including the land, the thing is too much.
Okay.
They should pass it to law. The house of a family member, they should put into their matters. It's very important. They should pass it to law and have the agency or committee that will tackle the menace, because this thing has done a lot. We have frustrated so many families, so many individuals. We have put down so many business. Some of students who are not, who their family are not capable of paying their rent. Some of them, even some of our guests, they have turned to another thing so they can meet up in their basic needs and their school needs.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
It's too much.
I hear you. All right, dear. Thank you for calling into the program. Thank you for calling into the program. I highly appreciate you. All right.
I do feel that you are a good presenter.
God bless you. Thank you so much. All right. This is a conversation that has a lot of branches. It brings up a lot of emotions, because this is real conversations we are having here. This is people's livelihood we're talking about. Now, I was speaking about this in a conversation because we have a group, World Radio Day group, that most of the OAPs in Enugu who are concerned have come together to make it their responsibility this morning to join our voices to talk about how stressful this is becoming to everybody. We are struggling to pay the extra taxes because that is being put to good use. I must commend the governor for the wonderful work he's doing. If you were around Enugu anywhere between 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the evening, you would notice that there was water surging out of so many corners of Enugu. I'm talking Presidential Road, most parts of Independence Layout, going down to Ibuza Street, going down to New Artisan. I'm talking about parts of Enugu like Mponkiti, moving down up to College Road and Zix Avenue. There was water, and people were commending the governor, and people were trying to also access the water. And many ideas were coming out of people because I was present, and people were saying that it will be good if the governor created some kind of meter and some sort of a sales card for this water, whereby if you exhaust the card that you purchase, that gives you a certain unit of water to purchase with such a card, so that it will regulate, because we noticed that there were lots of people and there was this the usual drag for people who were trying to access the water. So a lot of ideas came up, but I'm thinking that those are the Water Corporation and of course the governor are looking into it. Good work. I think the work is coming together. They're fixing everything, is coming together. But we need the governor to also look at this accommodation part. An eyewitness yesterday, Buki, complained that his landlord, just between last year and this year, increased his rent. A one-bedroom, that's the one that has the one-bedroom and parlor with the kitchen and the bathroom. He says the guy moved the rent from 500,000 to 700,000 in such a small amount of time. If you move someone's rent to over 70 to 100%, if you do that, that's almost 60-70% increase on his rent. If you do that, whatever happens to that person's other responsibilities? Do we ever take out the time to apply compassion in most of the things that we do? I mean, I know the country is hard. And someone tried to make the argument that most of the buildings that are costing this, that they are adding these monies to, are old buildings that weren't even built at the time that it's costing so expensive. The cost is so expensive to build houses now, unlike before when the houses cost cheaper to build. And now you're adding money like new buildings. You're adding money like buildings that cost much more. This conversation needs to be had, really. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Greetings.
Yeah, the man is calling from Enugu. Yeah, talking about the high cost of accommodation in the metropolis. Am I right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, there's something you should understand. As far as the demand of accommodation is very, very high, the prices will always go up. That's the lady that spoke for us, I think he mentioned something like that, very interesting something. Yeah, but
Yes.
Another factor we have to understand. In Enugu metropolis, they have high institutions almost surrounding us around here.
Okay.
And in these institutions, they don't have accommodation in their campuses.
Okay.
That's lack of accommodation, insufficient accommodation.
Okay.
And that is why you see madrasa students looking for accommodation outside the campuses.
Okay.
So automatically, if you have accommodation hostels built, to accommodate students fully in the campuses, it will reduce the tension in the metropolis. So this is what the colleges, the institutions, the campuses, the university around should afford to do, because the students are not fully accommodated in the campuses because of short of accommodation.
But has there ever been a time that all students were accommodated in a university? Has there ever been a time in this country?
There has been a
Because I remember in my time.
This time around, you have the percentage is very, 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 very low.
Very low.
Sometimes you have a very good percentage accommodated in the campuses, very good high percentage, because of the population now. Population they can no longer afford to accommodate them. They should expand the hostels.
Okay.
Are you know what I'm saying?
I'm listening
The
to you.
population increases per year. The population increases per year. Definitely, the hostels should be expanded, or you increase the number of hostels in the campuses.
Okay.
To accommodate the teeming population you are meeting every year, because year in, year out, the population will continue to rise. And the hostel accommodation is not even rising in pari passu with that. So that is a problem.
Wow.
And as long as students are looking for accommodation in the town, in the city, automatically there'll be high cost of accommodation. This is one problem that the campuses the government should look into.
Okay.
That is my own submission on that.
Okay.
Then on the tanker explosion, I think the government is trying to mitigate that. It's a welcome development. Bad road is part of it, as people have said. You talk about the driver's emotional state of mind. Is another problem. The condition of the tankers, another problem. Then in terms of people as well, you have ignorance and greediness. Ignorance with respect to, you see, petrol tanker, highly inflammable. How many people can decode that? Highly inflammable, because the average person feels that if you get to where you are scooping for, unless you lit matches, it will not catch fire. No, only metals rubbing themselves together can cause explosion. So ignorance, there should be massive education by the media, by national intelligence on the dangers inherent in this kind of problem. Then people should equally reduce their, greedy levels in terms of scooping fuels. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much for calling the program. Your perspective is highly appreciated. Have a great day out there. Okay, so hostels. I'm talking families who are looking desperately. I went to the university too, and we also had people who lived off campus. I understand there are more young people, you're graduating them in numbers. They can't keep living at home. There are more young people who are establishing, getting married and all of that. Yes, there is more numbers, there is more population, but how do we fix this? Good morning to you. Oh, okay, lost you there, but we are also live on YouTube. Please go to High Voltage News, like, subscribe and share. Into the studio to share your thoughts and views on the conversation this morning. Welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm Moses Okuri.
You're welcome.
Yes, on the issue of house rent and each hike, I want to say that what the previous caller said in terms of you people, helping to advertise or market or make people know the where they can locate a house.
Okay.
I think it's a good suggestion.
Okay, from the suggestion from Chichi.
Yes.
Okay.
It's well acceptable.
Okay.
But that is on temporal basis. This issue of house rent and all of these things. Often our government here would like the man in charge of Board of Internal Revenue, whenever he wants to defend why we should pay all the taxes we are paying, they always refer how they do it abroad, how they do it overseas.
Okay.
Now, and I know that overseas, more of houses there is being rented by the government. That the government has the responsibility of providing housing for the people. But here, such things doesn't come to mind of our government. So they only make use the overseas thing when it is to favor them. So I want to say that the permanent solution to this thing is let the government provide housing.
Okay.
That is, make houses for the people. Okay. If not for any other thing, for the government, for the workers of government,
okay,
for the staff. Let each and every institution have a way of, even if, you see, all these things are not too big to be done. Let me say that an institution like UNCH now has a way of, they have empty land, like that where they are now.
Yes.
They have massive of land there, which the criminals are just using to do their kidnapping. Now, if they can give people a chance, have a way of partnering with the banks, and at a time, it would be deducted from the salaries of the workers. I think nobody will leave two places. If somebody parks down there or park to a place where is your, at least this rush and this all these things about houses will reduce. As I'm talking to, I just use the UNCH as an example. But I'm talking to the state government, which they are the owner of all the land. They always claim.
Of course, it's the government.
Let them utilize all this land for good. People who worked in the early years, before now, maybe let me say 30, 40 years ago. All these opportunities are there for them. But now, no government no longer thinks in that direction. So anybody expecting government to regulate house rent, but not selling.
Okay, I think something happened with Moses right there. But thank you for calling. At the end of the day, you had to go anyways. You can call 0706 048 5853. You can also call 0915 570 8347 to be a part of this program. Join us, share your thoughts and contribution on the topic we are discussing this morning. Remember to keep your comments simple, civil, and clean so we don't break any rules while we're trying to do the right thing. We're also live on YouTube at High Voltage News. Please like, subscribe, and share. You listen, this idea and suggestion from our first caller this morning, Miss Chichi, who called in to say that if it was possible for us to incorporate advertising free spaces for accommodation on air, if we could do that as a corporate responsibility and have agencies, registered agencies, inform us of homes or accommodations that are available in town, perhaps we could do a lot with that. Also, would the landlords want these kind of public adverts about their properties? Is that legal? Would the lawyers allow this to happen? Is it legal? If we bypass the regular agents on the street, what's the program? Who knows the legal proceedings for this, right? Let's see what you think. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Greetings, your name and location, please.
My name is
You're welcome.
Okay. I want to touch on what you are saying about how the house rent has been skyrocketed in this town. Like what you said, Auntie. There are some houses that were built around 1980.
That is true.
But you see, because of the attitude of some agents, some people are even serving as to the landlords now. They are the one telling them to increase the house rent to the point that even, understand? So those attitudes are not good at all. And also in this our Enugu state, southeast, but Enugu state is too bad for that.
Yeah.
Understand? Some people now that are not maybe jobless now are finding that agency business as a way to even squeeze their people, right? Even if they are dying or what. You see a landlord now increasing the house rent now, like last year now, this January now, come and increase up to 100% increase or more than.
Yes.
All those things are not good at all.
We've seen.
So somebody telling me that maybe high number of students or all those things. That shouldn't be, because more houses have been built. But you see an old house that was built around 1980 something or 1970 something. You see, they are them competing with new ones.
Yes.
Even the building materials during that time were not too high. You understand? So I'm just worried that the rate those things are happening.
Yes.
Something drastic must be done. And the government of Enugu should put eye into that. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling the show this morning. I appreciate your perspective on things. All right, we're gathering information. We're gathering information, and like I always tell you on this program, the government is always listening. If you think that the government is not listening, then you don't know how these things work. Information, they say, is power. And trust me, power knows how to gather power, because feedback is very important in the grand scheme of things. You need to know the response of the people that you're dealing with. So the way you're expressing your views this morning, the entire world is listening to you. The government is listening to you. So continue to speak out so that they can realize the seriousness of the situation at hand. Good morning to you. Are you there? All right. Sorry about that. 0706 048 5853. Also call 0915 570 8347. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
You're welcome. Your name and location, please.
Yes.
Ma'am?
I'm Miss
Mrs. Grace, you're welcome, madam.
I don't know whether this Enugu is different from other states. For cycles, I go there. To shower everything. In Palo and the 4-room Gambola, which is the baptized and is 600,000.
I am here.
The lawyer agent, just 20,000
Yes.
or 10,000.
Okay.
Enugu, before you collect it, you enter 2 rooms or 1 room.
Yes.
This is Enugu. Then they are suffering. No government will take care of this Enugu. All the governments who enter governor, county or commissioner, they are not looking for this Enugu. Is it cooperation or what? Madam, I understand.
I am with you, my sister. Go ahead.
I know, I see how other places, how then they go to school. Coming to the side here, no school, no government school here, no, only private. And now, poor people living there. No health center. And the population pay for bunker here as the NT side. It's too much. Please, tell governor or their chief, or commissioners, don't see this bunker side. Then are doing policies with this bunker. After policies, they have forgot to them.
Okay, madam. Thank you, Madam Grace. Thank you, Madam Grace.
No toilet, no anything.
Okay. No problems, madam. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, about the bunker and the school situation, I know about an NGO in Enugu headed by Gaius Chibweze, also running a campaign on Make Our Igbo Great, where they are going around trying to refurbish or refurnish most of the failing community secondary schools in Enugu State. And which of these conversations are so huge and connected that we must continue to speak out. A picture or pictures from one of the hostels in UNN surfaced on the internet, and I tell you, you do not want to live in there. In as much as there are other reasons why we're experiencing accommodation problems in Enugu State, please, I'm also calling on everybody who is interested in the welfare of the rest of us. And I'm also calling the Vice Chancellor of UNN and Enugu State government to please go to UNN and check those hostels and see if they are habitable for any human being to be in them. All right? Because by the time we blame young people for not wanting to be in the school environment, have you seen the school environment? There are so many things that are wrong with our system that needs urgent, very urgent, desperate attention. And I wish someone would quickly do something about it. I'm going to get to the point of the part of extortion when it comes to this house rent situation, because it goes way deeper than the cost of things and the way things are, because we're going to go in deeper into this conversation. I'm opening the phone lines once again because I see that a lot of people are trying to get through. You can also drop your comments and thoughts on our YouTube page, on the comment section. Drop your thoughts and contributions there. We will get to them as soon as possible. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Greetings. Your name and location, please. What's your name?
This is Barrister Chukwemeka calling from Enugu.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. I think to talk about regulating the house rents or accommodation, government has a big role to play here.
Do tell.
Government, like in Lagos State, governments, they are live, up and doing.
Okay.
Their agencies are there upon the population and the magnitude of houses there, but they attend to each issue as it arises. For instance, government can make such a regulation here.
Okay.
If a house is not a new house, then certain amount of money can be paid
Okay.
Or you cannot demand 2 years advance payment or 3 years advance payment. With that, it can be regulated so that people can afford to pay at least 1 year or 6 months, looking at the structure, the period upon which the structure was fixed. Okay? Because you don't expect, like people who are buying cement now, I think 10,000 naira or so, and rods, the cost of it now is so high that if somebody put up a structure and put it out for rent, the cost of putting that building cannot be the same thing with somebody who are putting the structure 30, 20 years ago. And remember, the person has been collecting the rent from at that time he put the structure to this present day. They cannot be at the same level with the current one. Government can come in there and make a serious regulation so as to help citizens to acquire it. So government can put up a kind of a partnership with private sector to put up a low-cost housing. If you look at federal housing, federal housing is a low-cost housing. It was done during Jim Wood, as we were told. But you can see it's a good pattern of building throughout the entire surface. And it was given to citizens on a subsidized rate. So government can engage such program and use it to effect and reduce the effect of this accommodation problem. Like the one you just mentioned of UNN is very unfortunate. What breaks my heart is that these people who are in a position of authority today, these people who are ministers, presidents, governors, senators, they all benefited from a good foundation laid by our forefathers. When they were in school, they enjoyed the best of what Nigeria had at that time. The accommodation, many of them were staying there free. The chicken and the food they gave to them were free. Only for them to climb at the apex there, they break the bridge. So you have to go through hell if you want to go to school. That's not how society is run. That's not how society is run. They should show us love. These are people this country has helped in one way or the other. They have seen the best infrastructures. They have seen the best foundations. But are they ready to do it here? Your guess is good as mine.
Okay, Barrister Chukwemeka. Now, before I let you go, I have a question for you. Did you listen from the beginning of the show? A lady called us and said if it was possible for landlords and probably registered agents to come to radio stations and advertise when they have vacancies in their properties. Do you agree with such an arrangement?
Well, I don't know, because I know you, the radio station, are there for business. Yes, and I know what it costs by the constant generator you people are using.
Yes.
And the cost have made you people not to, at least, you can't even afford to make such provisions because of what it takes to run the stations.
Yes.
That's one side. On the second side, I mean, if it's a good idea, if they can do that,
okay,
that would be good. But government should put up an agency that should, which private agent that want to register can register through them, so that it can be monitored and the activities could be regulated, such that there won't be a collusion like what we used to see in court, where somebody may go to court, very unfortunate, but I have to say it, go to court seeking to evict you in the house without you even knowing that the process is ongoing. By the time you know it, they will bring the last order of the court asking you to vacate the place, and they won't even give you a chance. Before you know it, you'll be saying, which day do you go to court? Nobody give you anything. Nobody serve you any process. They have thrown your properties out. We have seen this on several occasions, where they abused all the entire process. So there should be an agency of government that regulates it. Because if you allow them to do that, landlord and those agents, okay, you see, there are some landlords that will even collect agents' money.
Okay, Barrister, I need you to hurry up. I need you to hurry up.
One of them came to my chamber and said he had an issue, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, who is the lawyer that is handling the thing? He said, no, But when the tenant came, he admitted that he paid for lawyer fee. And I asked the man, which lawyer did you give the money, or which lawyer collected it? Because he said, sorry, he has to be sincere. He did it himself as Oga. You can go to hell. I'm not interested in this.
Okay, I have to let you go. I have to let you go, Barrister, for language bridge. But thank you for trying to call in this morning.
All right.
All right. All right. Again, if you do call into radio stations, remember to keep your comments clean, simple, and civil. You don't want to break any rules while you're trying to do your civic responsibility by airing your views on and thoughts on the way things are happening. Most landlords are taking the extortion to another level. We did see a list of things a landlord presented to someone who is trying to find accommodation in their property. And in one of the list of things that they needed to do, it also added welcome drink and pepper soup, something like that, where you also have to provide entertainment when you pay your rent to your landlord. And this is not a joke. It's a real thing, because I did see the document for myself. So on top of paying the rent, on top of paying the agency fee, on top of paying the lawyer fee, and then the mysterious one that is very annoying is the one called the maintenance fee. The maintenance fee in a house that you're probably going to paint, fix, furniture, do everything. You're going to pay for maintenance fee, management fee. And now this landlord had the audacity to add drinks and pepper soup to the list of the things that this particular person was supposed to provide so that they will get accommodation in your apartment. Some of these landlords, when you move into their properties, after a year or two, depending on how kind they want to be to you, I'm telling you real testimonials that I have here, and then they ask you to leave the house. They ask you to move out. And then apparently when you ask, you haven't done anything. There is no offense. You haven't committed anything. They just want you to leave. In fact, the landlord was so honest enough to tell us that what happens is that when you come in and after a year or two, they become aggravated and trigger you to leave. And when you leave, right? Because apparently the money you pay when you're trying to get into the house, it's not the same thing you continue to pay after you've paid all of those collected fees that they make you pay in the beginning. That is super expensive. But when you do manage to pay it, over the years you get to pay the regular rent, right? So let's say you pay in you pay 800,000 to get into an apartment, right? And that's everything you pay, the total package before you get into the house. And the regular rent of that apartment is 500,000. But by the time they put up all of these other things that you necessarily have to pay before they let you in, it has to come to 800,000, right? So they're saying that when you pay this landlord 800,000 naira, he lets you into his apartment, and after a year, when your 800,000 naira has elapsed, he makes you leave. And one of the landlords were honest enough to tell us that it was because when you leave, they get to make the money that you paid every year from new different people. Because if you stay, it means he makes less money, because now you've paid 800k, so next year you're going to pay 500, which is the regular rent. But when they make you leave that house, the agents find them someone else to replace you, and the person gets to pay another 800,000 naira. That is extortion. That is not kind at all. And these are the lived experiences of residents in Enugu, real life stories that I'm telling you about this morning. Let's hear what you think. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Greetings. Your name and location, please.
Yes, I'm Moses. I call back.
Okay. Where are you calling from, Moses?
I'm calling from Enugu North.
You're welcome.
Yes, I want to say that I would have loved the barrister to help us.
Oh, we will
To
bring a
tell us
barrister.
whether is it now a pattern? That is, somebody is renting his house to somebody, and is demanding the person's name as one of the requirements.
What did you say? Okay, NIN. Okay.
NIN, yeah,
Okay.
NIN, yeah.
Okay.
As one of the requirements, the things she should provide. And the person provided all these things.
Okay.
At the end of the day, the person refused to give even when the woman have paid everything, paid even all the drinks, a carton of beer, a carton of malt.
And
even
if it was her bride
everything
price.
Complete,
Even
loyalty,
if it was her bride price.
everything. Now, but the one that disturbs me so much is that name of the thing.
Okay.
Is it now, can somebody require such?
Okay.
As one of the distance,
okay.
Illegal.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Moses, for calling into the program. One of our analysts who comes on this program, Onyekachi, the barrister who doesn't like to be referred as barrister, said that the NIN is for identification purposes to ascertain what it is that this person does. It's like a security for the owner of the house. Right, but we will still bring in barristers and lawyers tomorrow to have a deeper conversation about this. Good morning to you. All right, sorry about that, but we have about 7 minutes more before the program goes off this morning, so you can still join us. 0706 048 5853, also 0915 570 8347. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and location, please.
Yes,
okay, you're welcome.
Maybe this disparity these people are bringing.
Okay.
You build a house 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and you can't connect the standard to the other person.
Okay.
Are we not going to cause confusion?
Okay, explain what you mean.
We should start implementing such.
Can you explain?
It's going to cause a lot of people here confusion. Now, let me tell you.
Okay.
There was a time the jokes were sold at 3,900 and something naira. Then I saw my dad receipt 3,900 and something naira.
Okay.
Do you know that not everyone could afford it at that time?
Of course.
So now you're telling me that if I can afford building a house 10 years ago, now you that can afford building it now, you would have collect more rent more than I.
Okay.
More than me.
But have you ever considered maybe the cost of building that house then and building it now?
The cost of building there was it low that people, not everyone can afford it.
Okay.
Could afford it.
Okay.
Every time has its season. There was a time you can take 1,000 naira to market and you can buy a lot of things.
Oh, true that.
This time you can take 100,000 and you still buy the same thing that you could have bought at 1,000 naira. So each certain time has its season. And we don't have to judge citizens that you build a house 20 years ago. There are most of your fellow, what is your mate, who cannot afford it. Now, if they can afford it now, so they should be collecting more rent than more money than you from the rent. We don't bring that disparity. It's going to cause a very big problem.
Okay,
now,
Justice.
I have a house in
Justice, could you hurry up? Could you make it faster because we don't have a lot of time? You called late.
If I have a house in Abani Road now, and somebody build one next to me,
okay,
that person should be collecting more rent than me.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you are saying that the house you built in 1975 and the one that was built last year.
Let there be a total regulation. If you are paying
total regulation.
Flat,
okay.
It is 10 naira.
Okay. Wow.
If it's going to be 20 naira, let it be 20
general.
Let it be implemented generally.
Okay. All right. That makes a lot of sense too. Thank you for calling, Justice. I appreciate your thoughts on the conversation. You see why we must all bring our thoughts together. You see the ideas and the different perspective and different ideologies and analysis that all of us have to this conversation. And, you know, Justice doesn't think that the house that was built in 1989 should be any lesser than the one built last year. He's saying that he prefers a general regulation where if you want a self-contained, then this is what self-contained costs. It doesn't matter when the house was built or the conditions of the house perhaps, or stuff like that. But he's talking about a general regulation. Right now, these are the issues that we are examining to see how we can come to a consensus and tell the government to say, this is what we think you should do, and when you do it, we're going to have our lives in better places, right? Someone sent us a message. This one says, good morning, Vote FM. My name is Michael from Agbani Road. Okay. Most landlords in Enugu are out to make life miserable for Enugu residents. I occupy a 3-bedroom apartment. Just last year, our rent was increased to 350,000 naira. And this year, the landlord has notified us, listen to this, that the rent is now 850,000 from 350,000. All right. And he's telling us to pack out if we can't pay that in 2 months. Are you listening to this? 2 months. And not minding that we have no water in the compound. The government really should look into this and save us from these pains we are getting from these landlords. Again, this is coming from Michael from Ambani Road. Thank you, Michael, for writing us this morning. Hello, good morning. You're my last caller. Are you there? Good morning. All right, I have to let you go. I do not have a lot of time on my hands, as a lot of people are trying to get through this morning, because this conversation is much more than any of us thinks. This is a general problem, and it's drowning most Enugu residents, and it is translated into landed properties as well. Lands in Enugu have skyrocketed. We do know it's a lucrative business and a very new innovation in Enugu, and it's taking different dimensions. But hey, there are residents in this city. Good morning to you. Good morning. You're welcome. You have 1 minute.
Please,